Hello everyone and welcome back to Kdh Art Class. My name is Miss Howard and today we're going to focus on primary colors. The primary colors are the three colors you need to make all those other colors. They are red, blue, and yellow. As you can see in my sign here, red, blue, yellow, 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 so on and so forth. You could get yourself a red, blue, and yellow crayon to do this project. I have twistable crayons here, colored pencils, even markers would work, although pencils and crayons would be your best choice because I'm going to be showing you how to create different values of those reds, yellows, and blues. Alright, so now that we kind of know what primary colors are, I'm going to use my twistables today because of all the supplies I have in my house, and trust me, it's a ton of them. I do not have a red crayon unless it's a twistable, so I'll be using my twistables. You will also need a pencil and of course a piece of paper. Alright, let's get started. So we're going to focus on buildings or architecture, and this is my beginning level lesson for my beginners. Basically, kindergarten, even pre-K could do this. First, second, you're the range that I'm working with. Okay. It's also just fun to do, even if you're an intermediate or advanced artist. But we're going to make our buildings look a little three-dimensional. We're going to create value by learning how to increase the pressure on our colored pencils or crayons. Like I said, that will work best. And we're sticking with the primary colors. So, let me zoom in. And starting with your pencil, this is where I switch to marker, so that the camera sees my lines better, which means you will see your lines better, or my lines better, and it'll be easier for you to follow along. You're going to start off with your horizon line. Horizon line, that is where the sky and the ground meet, and you see I put it near the bottom. Make sure yours is near the bottom. The next thing you're going to need is right here in the middle, a nice tall line. And from the top of that line, I'm going to do two diagonal lines. It's an arrow. This is our sneaky way of creating three-dimension. Now, next to it, I'm going to do a shorter line, or should I say arrow, because we're going to add two more diagonal lines. And on this other side, I'm going to do another arrow. I'm going to make sure it's shorter than the one in the middle, because part of what makes this project look interesting is if everything is a different size. Alright, so I have tall, two smaller ones. Let's go back to some taller ones. I think I will do one here. And of course it's an arrow, which means I'm going to do my lines. I might even make them a little bit longer. Why not? And one more arrow on this side. And let's go short. Hey, I'm a short person, so I take pride in that. Let's be different. Alright, starting with the shortest one. From the edge of your arrow, you're going to go down. And from the edge of your arrow on this side, you're going to go down. My next short arrow, and I think I'm just going to make these just a little bit longer. I'm going to go down. And from this one, sound effects makes drawing so much more interesting. You're going to go down from that one. Now let's go to the next short one. We need to do all the short ones first because they're in the foreground or closer to us. Down it goes. And on the other side, down it goes. Alright, now it's going to get tricky because these taller ones are going to be bumping into these shorter ones. So this side, I can go all the way down. And this side, I have to stop when I bump into something. If yours doesn't bump into something, it can go all the way down like this one did. Boop. I bumped into it. In fact, I'm going to make this little corner stick out just a little bit more so that they're not lined up. Alright, and my last one. Yes, it just smashed into the top of that one. And my last line, kaboing, it smashed into that one. Isn't that cool? So our arrows made the buildings look like they're closer and further away. That 3D effect is called overlapping. These look closer because the other ones stop and look like they're behind it. Alright, we need to add our doors. So go ahead and add a door, a little rectangle. And you're going to need one on each one of your buildings. I'm going to keep my doors about the same height. On all my buildings. Which means my short little one over here is going to have a really big door. That. And now we just need to add some windows. So you can do the windows however you like. They don't have to line up. You can do one or two of them. Wherever you think your windows could be or should be. And whatever size you want those windows to be. It could be long windows. And they could be short windows. It could be wide windows or narrow ones. Just whatever or wherever you would like to put them. Little short one up there and it looked kind of cool too. Alright, the last thing we're going to do is the sun in the sky. But we're going to do it different. We're going to do 3 circles. So the first one is near the corner. Around you go. For those that need to practice off your paper before you go on it, make sure you do your little circle and then draw your little circle. And now we're going to make a bigger circle, so it's going to look kind of like a donut. Around it goes. Ooh, mine actually fell off the paper already. And then one more big one, and this one's going to start off of the paper and finish off the paper, so it's almost like a curved line or a letter C. Okay, now we're ready to work with our primary colors. We're going to do the entire picture using red, yellow, and blue. So put your pencil away, and then you can get your colored pencils out or your crayons, and we're going to focus on using only the primary colors. Once again, the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Let's start with the sun. With your yellow, go ahead and as dark as you can, color that little circle that you did. Pressing hard with your colored pencil or with your crayon. And you notice nice and dark. Fill it in completely. Make it nice and bright. Alright, the next circle, you're going to do your normal coloring. Not the hardest that you could do like you did on that one. And as you notice, I'm coloring like the letter C all the way around. And to make it easier, you turn your paper. You don't change the direction that you're coloring. I'm still doing like the letter C. Side to side, or rainbow shape, rainbow shape, rainbow shape. Turn my paper. Because circles are kind of hard. Because you want to color with straight lines, but that doesn't make it look good. We want to color in that round direction. And the last little bit, the letter C. Direction that we're coloring. Very good. So we went dark, we went medium, and now we're going to lightly touch our crayon or color pencil, and you're going to make it very, very light. You can see it just barely. Again, like the letter C. And you notice I'm not really moving my hand too much. It's just back and forth and back and forth. And then I turn my paper, keep my hand on the table, and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Rainbow windshield wiper. That would be another analogy. A little connection that you might. Windshield wiper. Doesn't go straight across the window. It goes in a curved direction. And again, this is nice and light, barely touching the paper. And for me, I gotta make sure I don't forget this itty bitty little spot right there. Alright, so it should look like you have 3 different colors of yellow. The darkest, right, the medium, and the light. So you can see the different colors. Now, for fun, let's color the windows. Not the doors, just the windows. And I like to push as hard as I can inside those windows. Take your time. Don't get out of the line. slow and hard for these little bitty details. There's a greatness about crayons is now that we're doing it nice and hard, it's going to be hard to cover it up. So if we accidentally get on it, it won't stick to the paper as easily. Make sure you're staying inside your windows, not your doors. The doors we're going to do a different color, just to be fun. Right. That was nice and hard. And the last thing we're going to do yellow is the foreground. So we're bringing the yellow across our paper. That's good for composition. And now you notice I'm using my whole hand, my whole arm to color side to side. And I'm making sure I go off the page. I'm not going fast. Taking my time all the way, side to side. Okay. Now, here in my art room, I have a piece of paper under my piece of paper, so I can fall off the paper, and when my yellow accidentally marks outside of my paper, it's on another piece of paper. Be careful that you're not coloring on your mommy and daddy's furniture or tables. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit darker right by the buildings. There you go, and a little bit lighter as I go down. My husband is building me a new computer that will have better graphics, so my videos won't be as choppy. I'm super excited. Okay, we are done with the yellow. Let's move on to the red. So, the red, we're going to do it two ways. Dark and light. Dark and light. So I'm going to sit here with my red and very carefully and slowly, itty bitty little colors, and I'm going to go as dark as I can on this side, and on the other side of the arrow I'm going to go light. Ta-da! Dark, light. It looks like two different colors. In fact, it almost looks pink. That's because the white paper is poking through some of the red, and it's making our eyes see pink. Because yes, red and white make pink. For those that did not know that. You can impress your art teacher by telling them that when you get to school. Alright, again on one side, we're going to go dark. And you notice I'm not changing my red crayon. I have the same red crayon. The only thing that's changing is how hard I'm pushing on it. Dark and light. Just gently, ever so gently coloring. And I'm not coloring my door. Ta-da! And dark. Now this is where you can pause the video if I'm going too fast. Or you can even speed it up. Hopefully you're not going faster than I am, because I am going rather quickly here. Dark and light, barely touching my crayon. ever so lightly touching the crayon. Slow down when I get to the edges. I don't want to accidentally get out of the edges. 2 more buildings for me. Dark. Again, take your time. Nobody wants you to scribble scrabble all over the place. Make sure it's coloring dark. Slow coloring. Not fast scribble scrabble where you can see the white paper in between. You want to color in the whole building. Dark. And light. Oh, I can't tell you how much I love these twistables. Not because they're anything special to it, it's just that they're longer than a regular crayon, and my big hands just love the longer surface to grab. Okay, we're down to our last color. Doesn't that look so cool? Just by pushing dark, or pushing dark, and barely doing it lightly, you get these neat little colors, variation. And the last thing is blue. So we're going to push dark on our doors. This is our value that we're creating. Darks and lights with the same color. So I'm doing dark on the doors because my sky is going to be light. Okay, I have a lot of sky to cover. So I'm going to start, while I am not bored, carefully in between my buildings. Now you notice I turned my paper because I like going up and down better than I like going side to side. So up and down, up and down. Get close to the edge, do your little edges first, so that you don't have any of the white peeking through. And I'm doing either a medium or a light color. I don't have to color dark the whole sky. And all the way till I fall off. All the way. And in between the buildings, slow between the buildings. Right there next to the edge. Right there next to the edge. In between the buildings. Fall off the page. My crayon is running out. Let me make it a little bit longer. Little, little, little. And now I can start going all the way up and down in my case. Okay. I'm very careful. Next to my yellow, I don't want to mess up my yellow. Up and down. Follow it around. You should not be done before me. And it's okay to pause the video while you catch up. And make sure you fall off the paper. Side to side or up and down would go in the same direction the whole time. If you turn your paper when you need to so everything stays the same, you're going to like the coloring. So many students say, Miss Howard, you color so nicely. How do you do it? because I don't change directions all the time. I go in the same direction as much as possible. And it takes practice. Yeah, always in the same direction, side to side in this case, which is up and down. Now, for those that want to get super fancy, for these last few seconds, if you want to come back and do it darker in between the buildings where all the shadows would be, you can do it darker in between the buildings, and then get lighter and lighter as you get up in the sky, because the sun is going to brighten it up. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about your primary colors and some fun ways of doing buildings and value scale. Dark and light, and most importantly, our three primary colors: blue, red, and yellow. Have fun creating! Bye!